Oh, that's very interesting. Now I want more of this.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Hey family, this is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. Do you know what black supremacist is? Do you know what melanin is? Do you know the benefits of melanin? I got a video for you, very short. If you have the attention span to at least listen for 8-10 minutes, then do yourself a favor. Rediscover who you are. Share with your kids and your grandkids. Because in this video, we have the great Dr. Welsing, who explains the white supremacist, the downfall of the mutative DNA of the white Caucasian people, but then also shares a little bit of insider knowledge of why they have a fear of us. Then I provide another video just showing what sunscreen lotion actually provides white people. It actually makes them black under a UV light. So enjoy this right here. Share it with somebody. Subscribe. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.
As a psychiatrist, as a black psychiatrist, to understand, well, what exactly is this thing that we call racism, white supremacy? Looking at why do white people behave in the way that they do. Do you see, in concluding that it has to do, number one, with their minority status on the planet, their genetic recessive status, in that they could experience genetic annihilation, in that the overwhelming majority of people on the planet are black, brown, red, and yellow, and whites constitute fewer than 1/10 of the people on the planet. Well, I think I was the first person to talk about white genetic annihilation in those terms, and that racism is ultimately a total system for white genetic survival and to prevent white genetic annihilation on a planet that has the genetics and the demographics that exist on third planet from the sun, which is planet Earth. So I was the first to put it in those terms, and my thesis has not been refuted. I would say that if my definition is understood, that racism, white supremacy is the fear on the part of people who classify themselves as white about white genetic annihilation and the concern for white genetic survival. This would therefore mean logically and specifically that the focus has to be on black males, because black people have the greatest genetic potential to produce the black pigment melanin, which gives all skin color. And since we have the greatest, the highest level of genetically determined ability to produce this pigment that can cause white genetic annihilation, and it's only males who can impose sexual intercourse. See, people are called white or you're non-white. That's on the census. That's the classification. You see, that is the problem. The word white, when it refers to human beings, means genetic deficiency, mutation, genetic deficiency, inability to produce melanin pigment. It means tiny minority on the planet. See, black people can be genocided. Native American people have been genocided. People can be genocided. See, that's what the young white people who get frustrated and they get a gun and they start shooting large numbers of people, because this is the message of the culture. You have a problem, you're upset about something, then go get your father's gun or your mother's gun and start killing a lot of people. Human life means nothing at this crisis point on this planet unless this specific problem is addressed.
Diana, the physics girl who has been filming this video with me because she knows a lot about melanin.
Oh, yeah, because I'm so tan. Right, so your body wants to protect itself against UV rays, and so there's some cells in your skin called melanocytes that produce more melanin when UV rays hit your skin. And that melanin absorbs a lot of visible light, so it looks darker in the visible, which is why when you have more melanin, you look more tan.
Exactly. Melanin actually absorbs even better in the ultraviolet part of the spectrum. That's where its peak is. And so our skin looks darker in the ultraviolet camera than it does in the regular visible camera.
Yeah.
What I find so amazing is that these melanin molecules are transported inside the cell to the nucleus, forming this protective cap over the place where the DNA is stored. And that way, they prevent ultraviolet light from penetrating into the nucleus and causing damage to the DNA. But you know, one thing I think was really interesting looking at your face in the UV,
What's that,
Diana.
Derek?
How do I put this? I mean, your skin is so clear and beautiful in the visible part of the spectrum.
Okay. Yeah, bring it on.
So what is surprising is how you can see a lot more contrast, maybe some freckles that I didn't even know were there.
It is surprising. No, but it's true. I mean, I noticed it on yours as well.
Thank you.
There's a bit around your eyes. There are spots I can't notice just looking at you in the visible spectrum, and then they pop right out when you're looking through a UV camera.
Rays have high enough energy that they can do damage to your DNA and cause cancers and other diseases. So what should you do if you are in an environment with a lot of sun, as we are, but maybe you are not evolved for this kind of climate?
Yeah, I would say if you can't find some shade, put on sunscreen.
It's kind of like putting melanin over the top of your skin.
Yeah.
I mean, the active ingredients in sunscreen aren't melanin, but they do effectively the same thing. They take ultraviolet light and they convert it into thermal energy, into heat.
Right, right. I mean, a lot of ingredients in sunscreen. Some actually reflect ultraviolet as well, but a lot of active ingredients in sunscreen absorb ultraviolet light and change it into heat.
It's that it shows us how the world is not how we perceive it to be. There's so much more going on there than we would ever imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now I want more of this.
Whoa.
There is so much to be learned.
But at the end of the day, I think put on the sunscreen,
At the end of the day, do you want skin cancer?
because it is the most common cancer in the US.
You heard it from the man. Wear sunscreen, kids.